Welcome to Layn Turo University. My name is Conrad Layn. I'm going to share what our rights and regulations are that we have as Turo hosts. Again, I'm not your attorney. I'm not your CPA. I'm not your business consultant. I'm nothing to you professionally. We have no contracts and I'm not giving you any advice. So please don't sue or litigate me. I'm simply just your friend on YouTube sharing that we have rights and regulations that actually can benefit us. And what you don't know can definitely hurt you. And I highly and strongly encourage, if you're not an attorney, still do your best to maybe look up some laws, some torts, some civil codes, look up Black's Law dictionary book and learn some legal vernacular so you can learn a little bit more how to protect yourself, because attorneys can be awfully expensive, but it doesn't hurt to actually, maybe if you don't have an attorney, just read up a little bit about some of the rights and laws and regulations that benefit you and that can actually protect you. So I digress a bit, but I'm going to leave this in the link below. So please, I strongly encourage, if you want to learn more about how to protect yourself and learn more about your rights and regulations, what we can and cannot do, I left this article below directly from Turo. It's called Turo Car Sharing Regulations. And I'm actually going to state exactly what it writes here. I'm just simply going to read over it. I'm not going to read all this. There's a lot of literature. And I'm not going to waste your time or my time. But let's get right to it. Car sharing regulations. Car sharing legislation. In some jurisdictions, peer-to-peer car sharing legislation, which generally centers around insurance, safety, and taxes, may apply to Turo peer-to-peer trips and hosts in those states. If you're located in a jurisdiction that has car sharing laws, consult your legal advisor for an understanding of whether these laws apply to you, offer protections to you, or require certain actions by you. And it's stipulated and stated there so eloquently that I am not your attorney, so please consult your legal advisor, your attorney, or do your own research. I don't care if you have to go on Google, pull out a Black's Law book, wherever you have to do, a dictionary, and figure that out. But read, and read so you know how to protect yourself. Very important. And if all else fails, hit that contact us button right there so you can directly speak with Turo, and they could assist you and also elaborate this. I'm not going to do that for you. I'm just simply reading what's stipulated and stated here, but I'm not your attorney again. I'm just simply stipulating and sharing my perspectives, opinions, and sharing what Turo is sharing. Look at this. If you're located in a jurisdiction that has car sharing laws, consult your legal advisor for an understanding of whether these laws apply to you, offer protection to you, or require certain actions by you. Turo will void your Turo protection plan, and you'll receive no coverage if it's discovered that you engage in intentional or fraudulent material misrepresentation or fraud or collusion with guests. To the best of our knowledge, there are no specific peer-to-peer car sharing laws in Canada or UK, but we suggest you research the laws in your area to be sure. So this channel I created called Conrad Layn channel, and this Layn Turo University segment, Turo, for those that don't know, is in 56 countries and counting. It's all over the world, and it's growing at a rapid rate. So there's a lot of different rules, vernacular, wording, and stipulation statutes that apply. So it's not a one-size-fits-all situation. There's so many different perspectives, strategies, laws, and statutes that you must consider, depending on your demographic and your municipality or province or area that you're in or township. So I strongly encourage, just as Turo is elegantly illustrated, do your own research, and they suggest, and I also suggest and highly recommend for me and you and anyone in this business to research what your local laws are. It's your responsibility, it's your business. But look right here, we have highlighted below, strictly for informational purposes, aspects of and or links to the laws for Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Nevada, New York, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas, Virginia, Washington, and West Virginia. Here's a little bit of Alaska. Let you read that. Again, I'm not going to read all this for y'all. I might read here and there, but this is a lot of literature, and I don't have all day, and I don't want to waste your time, and don't want to bore you. Alaska car sharing regulations. If your vehicle is registered in the state of Alaska and located in Anchorage, a city ordinance purports to require Turo to collect from guests an 8% vehicle sharing tax on the gross transaction amount for trips for which a Turo host qualifies as a retail business. Bam. Turo will collect and remit this tax on behalf of hosts who are required to hold a business license in Alaska and or report business income for losses to the IRS for peer-to-peer car sharing. You must inform Turo as to whether you currently hold a business license in Alaska or report business income or losses to the IRS for peer-to-peer car sharing so we can collect the appropriate rate where necessary. If you fail to certify your business status, you may be unable to host on Turo. Pretty serious, right? You can complete the certification here. They have the link right there for y'all. For Alaska host, Arizona host. If your vehicle is registered in the state of Arizona, you must abide by Arizona's peer-to-peer car sharing statute. Arizona requires hosts to collect a car sharing tax from guests whose trip began in Arizona. Turo collects and remits this car sharing tax on host behalf. The tax rate depends on whether you paid applicable sales and use taxes on the purchase of the vehicle you list on Turo. We'll ask you to confirm whether you paid applicable taxes on your vehicle. We'll request a confirmation during the listing process for new vehicles or via email for listed vehicles on the platform before this requirement was put in place. California, my great state of California. I'm a California host, specifically Los Angeles. If your vehicle is registered in the state of California, you must abide by California's Assembly Bill 1841 and the state's Personal Vehicle Sharing Bill. And this is really cool, where all the words are basically indexed purple. You can basically click into it and click into the bills. But I'm not going to do that because that's a waste of your time and my time. I left the link below. You can do that yourself. Again, I understand this channel was created for people all over the world that are Turo business owners or interested in becoming a Turo owner. So basically, this is up to you. Wherever your demographic is and where you're stationed at, please do your research. Colorado car sharing, Connecticut, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Indiana, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland. Look at this. Look at that. Nevada. If your vehicle is registered in the state of Nevada, you must abide by Nevada's Peer-to-Peer Car Sharing Program Act. And look how all these have purple hyperlinks. It's pretty cool. Nevada requires hosts to collect a car sharing tax from guests whose trip begins in Nevada. Turo collects and remits this vehicle sharing tax on host behalf. The tax rate depends on whether you paid applicable sales and use taxes on the purchase of the vehicle you list on Turo. We will collect the certification regarding this information either at listing or through a separate certification process facilitated outside of the listing process. Very important to read this. New York, if your vehicle is registered in the state of New York, you must abide by New York's peer-to-peer car sharing law. The taxes only apply if you are an individual host and are using Turo provided insurance for your listings. New York requires Turo to collect a car sharing tax from guests whose trip begins and ends in New York. The applicable tax rate depends on where you pick up the car. Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Tennessee, Texas, good old Texas, Virginia. Look at that. It's all these tax rates, what you can and cannot do. Look at this. For host sharing up to 10 vehicles, the tax rate is 7% of the gross transaction amount. For host sharing more than 10 vehicles, the rate is 10% of, or the same as the rental vehicles. Look at that. Washington, West Virginia, and voila. And look at this, West Virginia. If your vehicle is registered in the state of West Virginia, you must abide by West Virginia Legislature, House Bill 4474. West Virginia requires Turo to collect a car sharing tax from guests whose trip begins or ends in West Virginia. The tax applies to the full trip cost except deposits, protection plan, fuel replacement, tolls, and tickets. And that's about it. So if you want to learn more rights about what you can and cannot do and the taxes that you must pay or not pay, etc., this might be a good place to start looking. You might even want to give this to your tax advisor, whoever's doing your tax. If you're doing your own tax, you might want to educate yourself in this. And it's just good to look at this literature so you can really have an understanding. I know it's pretty dry, pretty cut and dry. Not a lot going on. It's pretty straight, but it's worth knowing, people. So I know it's not the most interesting, not the most colorful, but besides that, I left the link below so you can do your own research. And yeah, that's about it, people. The more you know, the more you can help yourself, and what you don't know can definitely hurt you. Don't believe the old saying, what you don't know doesn't hurt you. And that's not true. You don't know your tax rate, that could definitely hurt you. You don't know your rights or regulations on Turo, that could definitely hurt you. So please, people, ask questions, ask your attorney, ask your CPA, ask your tax person, ask yourself, and last but not least, ask Turo. Click contact us. Look at that. You select if you're a host. For us, it's a host. If you're a guest, you can even ask questions as a guest. And if you don't know who to ask Turo directly. Love you guys. Like, subscribe, share. Follow me on Instagram, Conrad Layn. For one-on-one coaching, hit that join button below. Like, subscribe, share. Conrad out. Peace.